excited. So, well, folks, I have a couple that is going to be my next guest, and they're from Czechoslovakia, and that's Vladimir and Renata Sliva, and they live in the western suburbs. They got married in 1982. And they have 8 children, and they moved to the United States in 1983, and they're going to give us a little perspective of their story. So, Vladimir and Renata, how are you? Welcome to the front porch.
Hello, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. So glad you could join us. So you're from you were born in Czechoslovakia, and
right.
you moved to the United States in 1982.
In 1983.
Oh, 1983. And I'm sorry, you were married in 1982. And so why did you leave Czechoslovakia and come to the United States?
It happened that I was raised as an atheist, and I converted, later when I was in college. And when I converted, I realized that I cannot live in an oppressive country without getting into trouble. So that was my main motivation to leave Czechoslovakia and to seek a free world, free country where I can live as a Christian without any consequences.
Now, Vladimir, were you atheist as well, or were you Christian?
Well, I'm a cradle Catholic, but my parents did not go to church. Some of my relatives did and paid the price too, and so we basically came to God together with Renata when we were in a university.
Okay, that's beautiful. Tell me a little bit about the persecution that was going on then for being Christian. I mean, what did that look like?
Okay, well, I'll give you an example. We were being prepared for marriage, and we went to a city near Prague for a weekend for preparation, and that all was secret. And we went to some former convent, and a guy came, and then we were celebrating a mass in 3 people, and he said he was not allowed to do that, and so then again we drove back. Well, we went back by bus to Prague with him, and later he became, after the revolution, they not only allowed him to be a priest again, but he became a bishop and a cardinal and the head of the church in the Czech Republic.
Wow! So if you were caught participating in mass or a priest saying mass, what were the consequences then?
Well, it depends. Okay, in this case, we would most likely be expelled from the university, and then our children would never be able to go to any higher education, starting high school, things like that. Well, then there were other priests who were allowed to say mass, but that was it. So even in that case, when we went to another priest in our parish, we had to go to secret catechism because it couldn't officially exist. And, the priest also had some gatherings of young people in his apartment, which was also against the law, basically.
So religious freedom wasn't something you had there, and obviously coming to the United States, that's something that you realized if we get to the United States, we can definitely live with this religious freedom.
Well, it was when we came here.
Yeah.
Now we are getting into the period of persecution. So it's very interesting for me to see what my ancestors went through, basically, because I was born into the socialism already.
So you're born into it, you came from it, and now that you're here, and obviously the listeners that are listening today on this Independence Day are seeing what's going on around us with the laws that are being changed and whatnot. The persecution seems to be starting. From your perspective?
Right. So, perspective. Well, I don't have to repeat what's happening here, but I guess my perspective for future is we don't watch TV at all because we know that's how our enemies basically manipulate people, and we use independent sources of information, and many of them, and we pick. So it's like Relevant Radio, Drudge Report,
so you have to
Breitbart, National Catholic Register, LifeSiteNews.com.
So it's important that you and your wife select certain types of media that you essentially are filtering the information that's coming through, because if you just open up the floodgates to anything on television, it sounds like you're saying that socialists kind of do a slow drip and do their destruction that way.
Right. Plus, I'll probably let my wife talk about schools, where the Common Core has the same aim. And, schools have been, especially public schools, have been like the source of ideology streaming into our children's brains, basically.
Yeah, universities especially.
Yeah, that too. But I think it's on all levels. We have 8 children, and we have monitored it throughout their education.
Are you? I'm sorry. Are you concerned? I mean, coming from a socialist environment, what are your concerns now, being an American citizen? I mean, you got here in the '80s, and there was probably a sigh of relief, I would imagine. And now, as you see from 1983 till now, 2015, all this that has changed. I mean, what are you thinking?
Well, yeah, I'm grateful for the first quarter of a century here, of my life here, which was in freedom. Then, we realized what's going on very lately, and the laws, as you mentioned very correctly, being changed against us, and so it's just a matter of time when we see the same persecution, unless people use their First Amendment and follow Constitution and vote correctly too.
Now, Renata, you're talking about action. Renata, you've done a lot, from what I understand, as far as taking an active part in it, in your kids' education and also in your community. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Well, I think it started when I noticed that in public schools they are forbidding basically Halloween and Valentine. They are forbidding the names, and that kind of really struck me, because how come in a free country that we forbid the names or holidays? And I know that these are not important ones, but if we give an inch, we can as well give up everything.
Yeah,
so that was my first red flag, with what's going on at schools. And since then, of course, I noticed a lot of other things which were going on. And basically, what's happening that the freedom and liberties are taken away from students and from teachers.
Renata and Vladimir, we have about a minute left. Could you both just tell me quickly, even despite all the stuff that's going on around us and the challenges that are rearing its head, what does it mean to be American now for you? Renata, you can go first.
Well, for me, I am learning about Constitution, about my rights, about my rights to be free and say freely things. And I am also a member of the movement Overpasses For America, where we do exactly that we stand for freedom of speech.
That's great. And Vladimir, what does it mean to be American for you right now?
Yeah, we work with my wife, so I just second what she said.
Okay, so like a good husband.
I want to remind her that she was running for the school board, and she is very adamantly against the Common Core.
That's great. And, well, we're out of time, and I'm so glad you were able to come on the front porch. Overpasses For America is a great movement. Take a look at that. And everyone out there, have a great 4th of July. Thank you so much, Vladimir and Renata Silva, for joining me on the front porch. I really appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, take care.